श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। Devotees, let's try to focus our mind on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord and the Spiritual Master. Sit up straight, close eyes, clasp hands together. As we give homage and pay salutations, glorifying the Lord. Prathamam Sadgurum Vande Shri Krishnam Tadanantaram Guru Papatmana Trata Shri Krishnas Tvamalatmana Kasturi Tilakam Lalat Patale Vakshasthale Kaustubham Nasagre Varamautikam Karatale Venuh Kare Kankanam Sarvange Harichandanam Sulalitam Kanthe Cha Muktavali Gopastri Pariveshtito Vijayate Gopal Churamani Namah Kamalna Bhai Namah Kamal Maline Namah Kamal Pada Namaste Kamalekshana Yo Brahmanam Virdhati Purvam Yo Vedanascha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvang Hadevamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। जगत गुरु तम कृपालु महाप्रभु की। आदरणीय वंदनीय पंडित जी, अन्य पंडितगण, प्रिय सज्जनों, प्रिय भक्त समुदाय, महानुभाव, worshipable Pandit ji, most worshipable Pandit ji, other Pandits, dearest devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Divine Souls. First, let me say Radhe Radhe to each and every one, and my pranam, my humblest prostrations to all of you. Very special Radhe Radhe and pranam also to our viewers on Bhakti TV who will have seen us live also. I want to thank especially, very special thanks to Pandit Satyananda Maharaj, who's been with us every night and who is the producer of Bhakti TV. want to thank Panditji and his team very much for the wonderful job they're doing, and also his wonderful drummer, Kyle. We also been carried live on 106.5 FM throughout the world. And so we have many sponsors who are making this possible, who have made this possible for the past 5 nights. Tonight is the 5th night. Just want to give special mention to all of them. Sachin's Auto Air Conditioning, D. Sibalak Drive-In Hardware, Narvik Enterprises Limited, DS Tires and Home Center Limited, the Radha Govind Society, KS Smart Buys Limited Superstore, number 116A, Eccles Village, Williamsville, phone number 6561274. Of course, special thanks to 106.5 FM. At the controls, as usual, we have our dearest Bhai, Chris Ji. Tonight he's accompanied by his Dharam Patni. Very special thanks to Chris Ji and 106.5 FM. Today is a very special day. I've been saying this from the beginning. This day, 14th of January, a very special day. This day, throughout the world, the celebration of Makar Sankranti was done. When the sun enters into Capricorn, Makar Rashi, is called Makar Sankranti. This is a very special day, as I've been saying, because according to Sanatan Dharma, the celestial gods, those residing in the place called Swarg, heaven, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the god of rain, the king of heaven, Vayu, the god of wind, Kuber, the god of wealth, etc., they all have been sleeping for 6 months our time, 12 hours their time. And today they woke up again. So they sleep for 12 hours their time and wake for 12 hours, which is 12 hours their time is 6 months our time. From today, all auspicious works begin again. And so in India, in every different place, in many different, every state, this is celebrated in a different way. This Makar Sankranti. Some worship Suryanarayan Swami. Some worship the coming of the harvest season, etc. Many different ways. Some do vrat, fasting. Especially Daan plays a very big part. Charity. Everyone, no matter how poor they are, will try to give Daan, charity on this day. On this very special occasion, something very special happened. The 5th original Jagat Guru, Panchvi Mool Jagat Guru, the title of only the 5th original Jagat Guru, was bestowed upon the great saint, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. I've been going briefly on who this personality is. I told you that in the year 1486, in the month of Phagun, which falls between February and March, in the full moon night, the night that normally we do Holika Dahan, Bhagwan Shri Radha Krishna combined, took a special form and descended in the world. That form was known as Gaurang Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya, Nimai, many names. Many reasons for his descension, special descension. One was to revive the bhakti movement that had become dormant especially in Kali Yuga. The Lord, with that path which is favorite to him, is most special and favorite to him, had become dormant. And so he thought, I myself have to go in order to revive that path of bhakti, of love in God. He performed many, many wondrous pastimes, but only stayed a short time. He only stayed in the world for 48 years. Before leaving, he gave a promise to his mother, Ma Sachi Ma Maya, who was a self-descension of Yashoda Maya, Kirti Ma, that I am going to come 2 times again, twice. I'm going to descend in order to uplift the souls and those who have not been able to fully realize the aim in life, even though they have come in association with me. Fulfilling that promise, in the year 1922, the Christian era, the night Sharad Purnima, the full moon night of Sharad Purnima, which normally falls in October, the month of Sharat, the full moon night, midnight, he again descended, upholding that promise. The Lord again, that combined form of Shri Radha Krishna, especially in the form of Radha. Shri Krishna had come, one of the reasons he had come was that he wanted to experience what Radharani experienced. Radharani alone experiences Madanak Mahabhav. Even Shri Krishna cannot taste that. In order to taste that bliss, number one, he had to become a devotee, to uplift, to show the path of the divine bhakti and take the form of Radharani. भीतर श्याम गौर बाहर ते युगल रूप अभिराम रे. Bhitar Sham. On the inside, he was Shri Krishna. Outwardly, he was extremely fair. He was Radharani, taken the form Yugal Sarkar, Yugal Roop, in one combined form. So he again descended, this time in a village called Mangar. Today, very famous throughout the world, known as Bhakti Dham. It's a remote village in the district of Pratapgarh in UP, India, Uttar Pradesh, in the Zilla of Kunda. This night of Sharad Purnima is very, very special. It's the reason why he chose to descend on that night. It's a very special night. We'll hear more about it. First, we'll chant a little bit about the Guru. It's beautiful bhajan, kirtan written by Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. Many he has written, glorifying Guru. I'm choosing this one tonight. Guru Charana Kamal Balihar. You'll find it in the books also, in the pages, you'll find it also. In the books you have, you'll also find it. So you can also follow the page in the books, page 8. If you have the pages, page 6. Guru Charana Kamal Balihar. I sacrifice myself on the lotus feet of the Guru. Why the lotus feet? When we talk about Bhagwan or a saint, we always pay special attention to the feet, the lotus feet, charan. God and the saint is equal in every path. No path is less or more. But there's something very special about charan, the lotus feet. All the divine power emanating around that divine being, the nexus of it, the highest point is the lotus charan. And this is why all the time charan is placed, most attention is given to charan. And that's why we wash the lotus feet of a saint, of Bhagavan. The saint being personified, Radha Krishna personified, as we heard in Naudha Bhakti. So when we worship the lotus feet of a saint, we actually worship in the feet of Radha Krishna, as he is Radha Krishna personified. I told you in detail before. Not only that, even Shri Krishna wants to get the dust of the feet, of the lotus feet of a saint. Bhagwan Krishna says to Uddhav, Nirapeksham munim shantam niravairam samadarshanam anubrajam yaham nityam puyetang ghire nubhi. 11 Canto, 14 chapter, 16 verse, Bhagavad Mahapuran. Shri Krishna says to Uddhav, Uddhav, I run after, O piche piche bhagta hu, I run after my fully surrendered saints, devotees. Uddhav Akshi, Krishna, why? To protect them? Shri Krishna says, no, I already do that sitting in their heart. Then why are you running after them, my Lord? So that when the saint will walk, the dust of his lotus feet will fly on me and I'll become purified. Even Shri Krishna desires the dust of the lotus feet of a saint. Far less for us worldly souls. So just sacrifice myself on the lotus feet of the saint. Guru Paratana Mana Dhanavad. Everything I have in my possession, Tan Mana Dhan. Tan, my body, Man, my mind, Dhan, my wealth. I use everything in serving that saint, the Guru. I offer everything unto him. Guru Charana Dhuri Sirdhar. I reverently place the dust of the lotus feet of the saint on my head. Guru Mahima Aparampad. The greatness of a Guru, no one can tell. Once, everyone was trying to glorify the Guru. The special personalities came. First, Brahma came. Brahma with 4 heads. He has 4 heads. The creator. Brahma said, I will glorify Guru. Brahma started glorifying, and then he couldn't go anymore. He said, impossible for me. Next came Shivji. Shivji has 5 heads. Panchamukh. He said, I will glorify with my 5 heads. He started glorifying, wo bhi haar gaye. He also accepted defeat. Next came Kartikeya, Shadanand. He's also known as Shadanand. He has 6 heads. He said, I will glorify my 6th head. He tried, wo bhi haar gaye. He also gave up. Then came Sheshnag. Sheshnag. He has thousands and thousands of heads on which Bhagwan Mahavishnu sleeps in Kshir Sagar. Shri Krishna himself has become Sheshnag. He's not different from himself. He said, I will glorify the Guru with my millions and millions of heads. He started, wo bhi haar gaye. He also gave up. I can't do it. Then all came to the conclusion, no one. Just as Bhagwan is beyond his glories, no one can count. One may verily count every grain of sun in the earth, if possible, but no one can count the glories and greatness of Bhagwan in the same way. No one can count the glories and the greatness of the true Guru, the saint. Sadguru Bhaj, the Guru worships Shri Krishna, or Hari Bhaj is Sadguru. Shri Krishna worships the Guru, I already mentioned. Do kaha do, both are saying that the other is my life. Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Mahapuran, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham. 9th canto, 4th chapter, 68th verse, Bhagavad Mahapurana. I live in the heart of my saint, they live in me. I am them, they are me. Guru Raha Udananda Kumar, that's what the next verse says. Guru is living in the heart of Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna lives in the heart. They are both of the Guru. They are both ocean of mercy. The Guru says, worship Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna says, worship the Guru. Both of them are... Guru says, wants the happiness. He wants to make Shri Krishna happy. Shri Krishna wants to make Guru. Shri Krishna, I told you, God loves to serve His saints. Guru mile kripa rijhavad. Through the grace of Guru alone, one will attain God. And how are we going to find Guru? When God will shower His grace. Both of them, they are both grace personified. Guru says, worship Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna says, worship Guru. Both are serving each other. Guru, Shri Krishna says, pure heart. Only the one with pure heart can see me, know me, attain me. The Guru say, come to me, all the sinners. I will make your heart pure. This is the difference between God. They are one and the same. I've told you over and over, there's no difference between the true Guru, a saint, and God. Vedas, everywhere, Shri Krishna Himself tells us that. They are one and the same. But remember, Shri Ram was telling Shabari to consider the Guru to be greater than even him. To consider the saint to be greater than Bhagavan. For this reason, that is the saint who is going to make our heart, our mind pure. He loves sinners. He says, all the sinners come to me. This is the difference. This world is a Bhava Sindhu, an ocean of suffering, Maya. And the human body is the best boat for crossing this ocean. But we need the Guru, the perfect boatman, the competent boatman, and that is the Guru, Sadguru, the saint who is going to take this boat of ours across the ocean of Maya. The Guru is the one who gives us true knowledge, who gives us the knowledge of all the Vedas and all the scriptures. He also gives us divine love for Radha Krishna. That Guru, he is Kripalu, he is mercy personified, grace personified. We'll sing this beautiful bhajan, some lines. Guru charan kamal balihar, Guru par tan man dhanwar, Guru charan dhuri sirdhar, Guru mahima अपरंपार।
Guru Mahima
सद्गुरु भज नंद कुमार, हरि भज सद्गुरु सरकार।
सद्गुरु भज नंद कुमार, हरि भज सद्गुरु सरकार।
ओ दो कह दो प्राण हमार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार। गुरु रहौर नंद कुमार, गुरु रह हरि रिझवार।
गुरु रहौर नंद कुमार, गुरु रह हरि रिझवार।
ओ दो करुणा को भंडार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
करुणा को भंडार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार, गुरु पर तन मन धनवार। गुरु चरण धूरी सिरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार, गुरु पर तन मन धनवार। गुरु चरण धूरी सिरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु चाह सुख नंद कुमार, गुरुवर सुख चाह रिझवार।
गुरु चाह सुख नंद कुमार, गुरुवर सुख चाह रिझवार।
ओ हरि गुरु दो प्राणाधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
हरि गुरु दो प्राणाधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु मिले कृपा रिझवार, गुरु कृपा मिले सरकार।
गुरु मिले कृपा रिझवार, गुरु कृपा मिले सरकार।
ओ दो कृपा रूप साकार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु कृपा रूप साकार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु कह भजु नंद कुमार, गुरु कह भजु कह रिझवार।
गुरु कह भजु नंद कुमार, गुरु कह भजु कह रिझवार।
ओ दो दास धर्म उरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
दास्य धर्म
राधे।
उरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
ओ गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार, गुरु पर तन मन धनवार। गुरु चरण धूरी सिरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार। गुरुपति तन सो कर प्यार, हरि निर्मल जन को यार।
गुरुपति तन सो कर प्यार, हरि निर्मल जन को यार।
यह अंतर सुजन विचार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
यह अंतर सुजन विचार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
यह है भव सिंधु अपार, नर देह नाव अनुहार।
यह है भव सिंधु अपार, नर देह नाव अनुहार।
ओ नाविक सद्गुरु सरकार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
नाविक सद्गुरु सरकार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
जो समझा दे श्रुति सार, उर भरा प्रेम रिझवार।
जो समझा दे श्रुति सार, उर भरा प्रेम रिझवार।
ओ सोई है सद्गुरु सरकार, गुरु सोई कृपालु सरकार।
सोई है सद्गुरु सरकार, गुरु सोई कृपालु सरकार।
गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार, गुरु पर तन मन धनवार। गुरु चरण धूरी सिरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
गुरु चरण कमल बलिहार, गुरु पर तन मन धनवार। गुरु चरण धूरी सिरधार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार।
बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। So what is the significance of this Sharad Purnima and Maharas? So this Sharad Purnima, this was the night a little more than 5,000 years ago when Shri Krishna and Radharani descended in a place called Braj, Vrindavan, Braj. Shri Krishna and Vrindavan, Radharani and Barsana are joining each other, these two places. On the full moon night, on the night of Sharad Purnima, they perform Maharas with the gopis. Shri Krishna, as I told you, is known, another name for Shri Krishna in the scriptures is Ras. Raso vai saharasagvam ye vayam labdva nandi bhavati. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, verse 7. The Vedas say Shri Krishna is Ras, bliss, divine happiness. So Shri Krishna is also Ras, divine bliss. When Shri Krishna takes a few deserving souls and bestows upon them the essence of all rases. How many types of ras there are? Infinite. But the essence, nichor. What is the essence? You take milk and you boil that milk, let it cool down to a certain temperature, then you add some dahi, yogurt, plain, you stir it properly, churn it properly, and then place it, cover it, and place it in a dark corner for at least 2 hours. All the milk becomes dahi, yogurt. Then you take that yogurt and you churn it. Matho. That dahi now becomes makhan, butter, fresh butter. Take that butter and heat it in a pot. Khoob aag lagao. All the impurities are burnt out and that butter becomes ghee, clarified butter. This is the essence of the milk. Just to give an idea. The best part, the essence. So the essence of all the rases, when Sri Krishna takes the essence of all the rases and distributes to those souls, that is called ras. Ras. And when Sri Krishna performs this with uncountable gopis, it is called Maharas. Just a brief idea. What Maharas is, no worldly soul can understand. People dance and they say they are doing Maharas. Worldly souls can't understand. We can't even understand what is the essence of ras. How can we understand what is Maharas? Before performing Ras or Maharas, Sri Krishna goes to Radharani and he places his crown at her lotus feet, bows to her and begs for permission to perform Maharas. Sri Krishna has to get permission from Radharani first. When Radharani says, okay, she gives permission, then only Sri Krishna, now he goes, in the case of 5,000 years ago, he went on the bank of the Yamuna and he started playing that Basuri, his divine flute. Signaling, he was given the signal that I'm about to start Maharas. Now, only souls who were deserving heard the Basuri. Only the gopis of Vrindavan and those who were deserving. The gopis heard, but their husband didn't hear. The husband didn't hear, the children no, except the gopis. Nanda Baba did not hear, Yashoda Maya did not hear. The Gwalbals, the cowherd friends of Sri Krishna did not hear. Only the gopis. Shankar Bhagwan sitting on Mount Kailash, he also heard. The gopis, however they were, they came running. What Sri Krishna did with the Basuri, he stole the heart of the gopi. Chit ko churaya. Chitta Chor, his name is Chitta Chor, one who steals the heart. So through the Basuri, he stole the heart of the gopi. Someone steals your heart, what are you going to do? Run. However they were, they didn't think, did I dress properly? One gopi is putting makeup, wherever she was, she stopped. One is putting on earring. Instead of putting in the ear, she put in the nose. However they were, in whatever condition, they just left and ran. Gopis are coming. Shivji is also coming. In the middle, some gopis confronted Shivji. Aap kahan ja rahe? Hey Babaji, where are you going? Shivji said, I heard Basuri that Sri Krishna is about to begin Maharas. I am going. Who are you? I am Shiv Bhagwan. Lalita Vishakha looked at each other. This is Ashtamaha Sakhi. So Lalita ji says, maybe he is Shiv Bhagwan. Don't say anything. Anyhow, Babaji, maybe you are Shiv Bhagwan, but without Radha Rani's permission, no one, no Bhagwan even can take part in Maharas. So wait here. We're going to go to Radha Rani and ask for permission. If Radha Rani says yes, then you will be able to enter. So Shivji said, okay. The gopis, in a moment, they went to Radha Rani. Didn't take long. Gopis also have Yog Maya Shakti. One husband decided, my wife is not going to go this gopi. So he tied her. She cannot go anywhere tonight. The gopi, through her Yog Maya power, left that body, took a divine, she has a divine body, and went. Ye le do, keep this body. The gopis are the highest saints. Brahma, Sanak Sanandan Sanatan Sanak Kumar, Udhav are praying to Bhagwan to become grass, trees, shrub, vines in Vrindavan. So when these gopis will walk, the dust of their feet will fly and it will come on them and they'll get blessed. Such is the position of these gopis. Actually, Ashtamaha Sakhi, the 8 main companion of Radha Rani, they are Radha Krishna themselves personified, had become Ashtamaha Sakhi. Anyhow, the gopis went and said to Radha Rani, hey Radhi Ji, ek Baba Ji hai, there's a Baba Ji. He has jata, matted hair, snake around his body. His body is smeared with ash, and he says he is Shiv Bhagwan. And he wants to take part in Maharaj. Radha Rani, of course, is Shri Krishna himself. I told you they are one and the same. She's all knowing. Radha Rani says, yes, he is Shivji, and he is a Bhagavan. He is deserving to take part in Maharas. But, lekin, there's a condition. In Maharas, there's only one man. Govinda eva Purusho Brahma Dyas Shri Krishna. Every other soul who is taken part in Maharas has to be female, Gopi. So Shivji can take part, but he has to become a Gopi. So the Gopis came back and told Shivji, Radha Rani has given permission to you to take part in Maharas, but you have to become Gopi. Shivji also has Yog Maya Shakti. He became a 16-year-old girl. Not in acting, in real. That Gopi is known as Shivani, Gopi Keshwar, many names. Shiv became Shivani. Then he was able to take part in Maharas. This night, and how long did Maharas go on for? Bhagavad says, Taratri. Shri Krishna had given this boon to the gopis. They had fasted, they did brat. Katyayani Vrat. The gopis had done Katyayani Vrat to get a boon from Shri Krishna to become the beloveds, the lovers of Shri Krishna. Presi, for him to be their husband. Whatever devotee wants, Shri Krishna has to fulfill. So the gopis did Katyayani Vrat. Is the form of Durga, Katyayani. And Shri Krishna came and blessed them. So he says, in those nights, autumn nights, your desire will be fulfilled. How many nights? Ek Brahmaratri. Maharas went on for one Brahmaratri, one night of Brahma. How long is one night of Brahma? 12 hours. It's called one kalp. 4,294,080,000 years. And nobody knew. Through the power of Yoga Maya, the sun stopped moving, the moon, the stars, everything became still. And Ras went on. And nobody knew. Maharas, that is. It's beyond intellect of worldly souls. Don't even try to understand. Enjoy. That's all. This is a special night that Gaurang Mahaprabhu chose to descend in that village, as I said, Mangad. The mother was Bhagavati. The father's name was Lalita Prasad Tripathi, to very austere Brahmin of great devotion. Of course, Kirtima herself has descended back as Bhagavati Maya. As Radharani herself was come and taken descension, so Kirtima came back as Bhagavati Maya. On the midnight of the night of Sharad Purnima, the full moon night of the autumn full moon, can't go in great detail of the life history, what so many things happened during his life. Just very briefly, as a child, everyone loved him. Loved. He was very, very dear to all who came close to him. And he was always playing with his friends. He went but to a nearby school in Kunda and always top in the class. His intellect was so brilliant. No one ever saw him studying. He would take his book to school in the bag and bring it back and leave it just like he never opened the book. Most times he would be with friends, jumping and playing, climbing trees. And after doing that, he will put all of them to sit down and he will chant Bhajo Girdhar Govinda Gopala. He will chant some Naam Sankirtan and make everyone chant. At the age of 16, he went to Mahu. His brother was a professor there of Sanskrit. In a very quick space of time, he attained a degree in Vyakaran, grammar, Sanskrit. People take at least 12 years. In less than a year, he completed it. And again, the brother would tell people that I never saw him open in a book. This happened at the age of 15, Then he went back to Mangar and spent about a week and returned and went to Chitrakoot. At this time in India, this was in the 20s, the 30s, 1930s, Around 1938. Chitrakoot and the surrounding area was dense forest. Dense forest. There were no roads, etc. At the tender age of 16, he entered the dense forest of Chitrakoot. What happened there? No soul were with him. Hardly anyone knew. He himself have mentioned certain incidents, and that's how we have come to know a few things. He went and stayed in Sharabhang Ashram, went through Jhansi, what is known as Agra today, etc. Traveling through, at that time, as I said, was all dense forest. Today, all the forest has been cleared and there is road, etc. At that time, it was dense. Wild animals roamed. Lion, tiger, elephants, wild animals. For 2 years, he stayed in the forest. What happened in 2 years? Whether he ate, didn't eat. Most time, at this time, he was in Mahabhav. In the state of Mahabhav. No consciousness of his surrounding or his body or anything. Eventually, he reached Vrindavan. Naked. 2 years he was walking. His body was filled with dirt as though he had never taken a bath. Nobody knows when he took bath, if he didn't take bath. His hair was all matted. 2 years in the forest. But there was no smell coming from his body. Bad smell. It seemed to be getting fragrant smell actually. There was a fragrance about it. And he was always in this Mahabhav, in Samadhi, deep meditational trance. His eyes would close, half close, and suddenly he will say, Radhe, and he'll fall unconscious. Ha Krishna, and he'll fall unconscious. Many people seen him thought that he was Shukadev Paramhans. They had heard and read about Shukadev Paramhans, that he was also naked. And always remained in a very young age. And was always in that samadhi. So they thought Shukadev ji had returned. So people started calling him Paramhans ji. At that time everyone called him Paramhans ji, thinking that he was Shukadev Maharaj. There was a very famous saint in India at that time by the name of Sri Banke Bihari ji. Once Banke Bihari ji saw Paramhans ji lying in Seva Kunj, in Mahabhav, deep samadhi, in the divine love, the trance. Realizing that he was a great devotee, Seva Kunj is the place that Shri Radha Krishna performed Maharas with the gopis. So Sri Banke Bihari ji, together with other devotees, picked him up and put him in a dharamshala. There are places religious places in India, there are hotels, they are called dharamshala, where people very cheap or even no money at all, devotional people can stay. There's not much amenities, but you can stay there in that house, in a room, etc. It's called dharamshalas. So they put him in a dharamshala, and devotees will bring things. They will give him a bath. They will put on clothes for him. He was mostly in that devotional trance, in that deep trance, that he didn't know his surrounding. Someone will put food in his mouth. They would feed him, he will eat. They didn't feed him, he will not eat. Whatever. Give him a bath. Put clothes on for him. And soon, and most time he would be chanting the divine name of Radha Krishna. The news spread throughout Vrindavan. There was this great saint, Paramhans ji, and the nearby states also like Agra, etc. The news spread. And so many who were great devotees of Radha Krishna, desired to have his darshan. There was a very rich person His name was Sri Jaki Prasad Ji. He was a Seth. He was employed by the British government at that time. And he was also very educated, but he was a great devotee. He had great devotional feelings. He here heard about this Paramhans Ji, and he decided that I want to have his darshan. And he also knew someone who was of the same kind of feeling. That person was Lakshman Swarup Bhatnagar. So they both came to Vrindavan to have darshan of this great saint, Paramhansa Ji. They also desired, it was close to Holi, and Holi is played in Vrindavan for 5 days. But there's a special Holi in Barsana called Lat Mar that they also long time had a desire to see. Lat Mar. But when they came, now was a huge crowd in Vrindavan. So Kripalu Mahaprabhu, in order to escape from the crowd, he told Banke Bihari Ji that I am going to Barsana, but don't tell anyone, to escape the crowd. So when Jaki Prasad and Lakshman Swarup Bhatnagar came, they searched everywhere for his Paramhans Ji, and they couldn't find him because he was no longer there. Very desolate, they became very unhappy. And they went and they stayed in the same Dharamshala that Kripalu Mahaprabhu was staying in. Sri Baki Bihari Ji, that saint, found out about this, and so he went to them and told them, look, I'm going to tell you something, but don't tell anyone else. That Paramhans Ji you're looking for, he has gone to Barsana. Don't tell anyone else. So they went, and they also had the desire to see that Latmar, Holi. But they also searching, they couldn't find him, as he had kept himself hidden. So they observed the Holi and everything, and they thought, well, maybe we are so unfortunate, we will never be able to have his darshan, his divine vision. And in that dejected state, they are about to return back to Agra, etc. That Lakshman Swarup Bhatnagar had a home in Allahabad also, and as well as Agra, Mathura. So they decided to return home. While they were going, they came to a place known as Kusum Sarovar. This is a very special place. Sarovar means ocean. Kusum means flowers. In the time of Radha Krishna, there was so much flowers. It was like an ocean of flowers. So this place was called Kusum Sarovar. Radha Rani herself used to come and pick flowers there. And there's a huge bathing place also that Radha Rani used to bathe with the gopis, etc. Anyhow, while this place is close to Govardhan, this Kusum Sarovar. While they were returning, they observed a light coming out from a hole. They stopped at Kusum Sarovar, as being a very blessed place to have darshan, and they saw a little hole, a cave-like, with a light coming out. A light. This was a very narrow entrance to that cave. Only one person could go at a time. So being very inquisitive where this light is coming from, they both entered into the cave one by one. And when they entered the cave, lo and behold, they saw Kripalu Mahaprabhu is sitting in the cave. And he was in his divine state, Mahabhav. That deep meditational trance, a divine love of Radha Krishna. His body was very fair to begin with, and a divine light, yellow light, they saw this light coming out of his body. Seeing that great saint there, suddenly Lakshman, Swarup Bhatnagar and Jaki Prasad started crying. They did not know for what reason, but they started crying. Loudly they started crying. Hearing the sound of someone crying, Kripalu Mahaprabhu came out of his samadhi, his Mahabhav, and inquired to them, what are you doing here? They told that they had come looking for him, and they never thought they would have had his darshan. And they were so blessed. Jaki Prasad had brought some fruits with him. And he asked the saint, would you have some, would you eat? He said, yes. And so he gave the fruits to Kripalu Mahaprabhu. This was the first time he ate with his own hands some of the fruits. They then begged him and pleaded with him to please return with them to the world. That staying here hidden, no one will benefit. That the world required his presence. That he should come out in the world, that the world and bless the entire world. After pleading with him for a long time, he agreed to their plea and came with them. Lakshman, Swarup Bhatnagar, they ordered a cart. No time, there wasn't much cars, etc. So they ordered a cart and they took him with them to Mathura. For a little while, he stayed at the home of Lakshman, Swarup Bhatnagar, at the home of Jaki Prasad also, which was in Agra. Eventually, he came to Allahabad, the other home of Jaki Prasad, Lakshman Swarup Bhatnagar. It's close to the year 1945. At that time also, close to Allahabad was the district of Pratapgarh. There was a devotee staying there by the name of Mahabani. So Kripalu Mahaprabhu intimated to Lakshman Swarup Bhatnagar, I would like to go to the home of Mahabani. And so they went to the home of this devotee known as Mahabani. He was a great devotee of the Lord. He loved to sing the praises of the Lord. He would sing Ramayana, etc. It's very devotional. And so Kripalu Mahaprabhu started staying in the home of Mahabani ji from that time. And few devotees, deserving souls would come. Mostly they will chant from midnight in the night. Chanting was done every night. Devotees were invited. And mostly from midnight they will start chanting. Until the sun would rise. And then everyone would go to sleep. Kripalu Mahaprabhu, there was a room specially kept for him. He would also go, and what he did in the room, no one knew. Whether he slept, what he did, no one knew. They would used to say he's going to office. Because when he would go in the room, if anyone was in there, they had to come out, and he would lock the room from inside. So no one knew what happened in the room. So the talk went around that he was used to do office. In other words, maybe some special souls would come and visit him while he was in there. Once, Mahabani and the family, they heard whispering, talking coming from the room as though Kripalu Mahaprabhu was having conversation with someone, with some people. They heard people talking and they heard Kripaluji also speaking. And they were speaking in Sanskrit. Not Hindi or Brajabhasha or any other language, Sanskrit, pure Sanskrit. When Kripalu Mahaprabhu came out of the room, Mahabani used to love Maharaji like a parent love a child. He used to love him as his own son. He had parental love for him. So he approached Kripaluji and said to him, asked him, who were you speaking with in the room? And Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, as is usually his nature, he just kind of passed the talk. He took up another topic, didn't want to discuss it. And so he kept diverting the talk. Mahabani was very persistent. He kept asking again and again, because other days again, that day he passed it and then he, okay. But again they heard this talking going on in the room in Sanskrit. So he got even more inquisitive. And he was very persistent. Eventually, Kripaluji Maharaj had to give in. And he said, Mahabani ji, look, the Shastras, the scriptures, the Bhagavad Mahapuran, the Vedas, etc., they have personified forms. All these scriptures have personified forms. The scriptures took personified forms and they came. And they said to Kripalu Mahaprabhu, this is the age of Kali Yuga. Everyone in the world are misinterpreting us. People are misinterpreting what the scriptures are saying. They are saying whatever comes in their head, their interpretation. You are the only one to save us. You have descended in this world for a special purpose. We know who you are. Do something, please. We are begging you, do something about this. This was the year 1954. The following year, 1955, Kripalu Maharaj, Ram Kripalu Tripathi was his name at that time, organized a huge Sammelan, Akhand Sammelan, Bharatiya Sammelan in Chitrakoot. This place, Chitrakoot, is very, very special. Sri Maharaj used to spend a long time there. This was the place that he started when he went to Vrindavan, and now he is holding his Sammelan in Chitrakoot. Those who know Ramayana would know that during the Banavas, the 14 years banishment, 13 years at least, Bhagwan Shri Ram spent in Chitrakoot. It's a very special place. So he decided to have this huge Sammelan in this place called Chitrakoot. Invitation was sent throughout India. All the greatest spiritual scholars at that time, many Jagat Gurus, all the people with the greatest titles, Maha Mandaleshwar, Maha Mahopadhyay, Jagat Guru, were invited. At least 72 of the greatest spiritual scholars were invited. And invitation was sent out. It was also announced on the radio, etc. Flyers were made to post it throughout India that this huge Sammelan was going to be held. And all the questions everyone had was going to be answered. And all the greatest spiritual men in India will be there, and everyone should attend. Millions came to this Sammelan, millions. Now, in that Sammelan, a flyer was made that there were 3 main questions that all these spiritual men were going to answer, speak on. The topic was outlined. All these great, with the great titles of Jagat Guru, Maha Mandaleshwar, Maha Mahopadhyay, etc. Great titles these scholars, spiritual men had. The 3 topic, briefly I'll tell you. Number 1. There are various scriptures in Hinduism, the Vedas, the Upanishads, Bhagavad Mahapuran, the Puranas, Mahabharata, etc. And all are different. All give different philosophies, all proclaim different things. how to reconcile all the seeming differences in all the Vedic scriptures. First question. Second question. There are so many paths to God realization written in the scriptures. Mainly the path of bhakti, the path of gyan, the path of yoga, and the path of karma. Which is the path, especially in this Kali Yuga, the easiest path for the souls to go to God? Please reconcile this also. And the third question. There are so many religious sects in India. Panths, so many different panths, religious organization. Everybody preaching something different. The general public, they are confused. How to solve this and reconcile it? These, in a gist, were the three main questions. So everyone came. Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu had not put his name to speak. That during the Sammelan, these great scholars were going to speak. During the satsang that Sri Maharaji had so far with devotees, he hardly spoke from the scriptures. Everyone knew he was divine, seeing his divinity, that he will chant and immediately go in Mahabhav. Mostly he would chant. If they asked question, he would answer, sometimes for hours, but he would not quote the scriptures per se. So no one knew whether he could give lecture. So his name was not put. He had taken the task of serving all these spiritual masters who had attended. He was the Adhyaksh of that Sammelan, that I'm going to take care. He would go with an umbrella and shade them from the sun. He would make sure their food, everything was correct, their place to sleep, he would make sure they had good place to sleep. Everything he would take care. Now, something happened. During that Sammelan, everyone started speaking only on some topic that it was the lifelong study, that they had studied their whole life. Some part of the scripture, some philosophy. No one touched the topics that were outlined. The three topics. No one touched it. And the people started becoming uneasy. The crowd started humming. There was a big backlash. When are you people going to start speaking? We have come to listen to these three. This was told that we were going to hear the answers to these three questions. But these Mahatmas and Jagat Gurus, etc., they also started becoming angry because no one wanted to listen what they were saying. They wanted to hear these three topics, these three answers to these three questions. They said, who wrote this thing? So they were told, there's a boy by the name of Ram Kripalu Tripathi. He's the one who organized this Sammelan, and he's the one who set out that these three topics, these three questions would be answered. Oh, they said, he's trying to bring bad name to us. He has done this as a way of propaganda to give us bad name. Bring that boy here. This Ram Kripalu Tripathi, where is he? It was announced in the mic. Hearing his name announced, Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu came there. He was a young boy at that time. Just about 33 years old. And he was very skinny. He looked even younger. He looked like a teenager. When he came, are you Ram Kripalu Tripathi? Very humbly he said to them, yes, I am. Did you the one who arranged this Sammelan? Yeah. Are you the one who have written out these questions will be answered by the saints attending? Yes, sir. Okay, you have to speak. You will have to clarify this. So he agreed. He said, my name wasn't put to as a speaker, but since you insist, I will do it, but there's a condition. I will speak every day. As long as I'm speaking, everyone has to sit. No one can leave. Everyone agreed. And so he started speaking every day for at least 3 hours. He would speak. And no one would move because, first to begin, even the devotees who knew him all the time never heard him speak like this. Now he was quoting from Ved, Puran, Mahabharat, every divine scripture. In Sanskrit he was quoting. He was given lecture in normal Hindi, but he was quoting in Sanskrit. They have never heard him before quoting. They were all amazed. And his lecture was so spellbounding. Everyone, even the other scholars and saints who were there challenging him, they sat down amazed. Everyone was amazed. Attending this Sammelan also were some special people. There was a body known as the Kashi Vidvat Parishad. They had their seat in Varanasi. Kashi, ancient name, today is known as Varanasi, and comprised of 500 of the greatest spiritual scholars in India at that time. The president of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad, Giridhar Sharma, Mahamahopadhyay Giridhar Sharma was there. He was the president. Along with another great person known as Neel Meghacharya. They were so amazed and spellbound by this young boy that they went back to Varanasi glorifying that we have met such a great saint at such a young age, that he knows all the scriptures without looking in a book. I know one person announced that about me too. I'm not the same. Yeah. I can't even think about touching the dust of the feet of that saint. I don't speak with the book, but this is what he has given to me only. No kamal of mine. Now this young boy, so amazing, and he quoted from every scripture, complete knowledge. Everyone thought these two old men were brainwashed. Impossible. They themselves, most of them were very old. And they had made one scripture a lifelong study, and they were not even perfect in knowledge in one scripture. How could a young boy be perfect in all the scriptures? Something is wrong with these two old men. The following year, Kripalu Mahaprabhu held another Sammelan. This Sammelan was held, the first one, in the year 1956 in Chitrakoot in the month of October. The following year, again in the month of October, another Sammelan was arranged, this time in Kanpur, India. Again, many scholars were invited. Great scholars from all over India. On the insistence of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad, especially Mahopadhyay, Giridhar Sharma, Neel Meghacharya, etc., that you all think we are crazy, they insisted the General Secretary of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad, Ram Raj Narayan Shat Shastri, attend that Sammelan. This person was very famous. He was the General Secretary, Shat Shastri. In Sanatan Dharma, there are 6 Darshan Shastra. And he was an authority on the 6 Darshan Shastra. So he was given the title of Shat Shastri. He was very famous for Shastrart, debate on the scriptures. Whenever he met anyone, he would have Shastrart with them. And he will defeat them. No matter what they will say, he will tell the complete opposite. He was very famous for his Shastra, his debate on the scriptures. So unknown to Kripalu Mahaprabhu, Raj Narayan Shatra Shastri came, uninvited, with his entourage. As Srimad Kripalu Mahaprabhu was about to speak during that Sammelan, suddenly he appeared there with his huge entourage. Someone went to Kripaluji and said, "This is Raj Narayan Shatra Shastri," and blah, 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 all about him. Kripalu Maharaj Ji had also heard about him because he was very famous. So he announced to everyone that today we are very fortunate that we have in our audience this great personality, Sri Raj Narayan Shatra Shastri, the General Secretary of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad. And he is going to speak to you first. So Raj Narayan Shatra Shastri wrote a note and sent it up to Kripaluji that no, I am going to speak after you. His idea was that this boy is going to speak and is going to make mistakes in the scriptures. And I'm going to take note of all his, whatever mistakes he made, and I'm going to kill him afterwards. Destroy him. So he took a pen and paper and sat down and he said, "You talk first." So Kripaluji Maharaj started speaking. And as he started speaking, the pen of Raj Narayan Shat Shastri never moved. He sat like this. He sat like this with the pen on the paper and kept staring at Kripaluji Maharaj. The pen never moved. At the end of the lecture, he wrote another note that tomorrow I will speak after you. Before you, sorry. So the next day, everyone came, and that this great scholar from the Kashi Vidvat Parishad was going to speak. Shri Maharaji sat on his place, the place of Raj Narayan Shat Shastri. He also copied him. He brought pen and paper. But just like Raj Narayan Shat Shastri, his pen never moved. Because now Raj Narayan Shat Shastri started glorifying Kripalu Mahaprabhu. That today we are so blessed that we of the Kashi Vidvat Parishad never accept anyone like that. Even if Saraswati and Brihaspati were to come here, they have to prove their worth. We never bow before anyone. But today I bow before Sri Kripalu, Sri Ram Tripati Kripalu. Today we are all blessed to be in the presence of a great saint. I listened to his lecture. And only a divine descension can speak like this. We are all very blessed, and I would encourage you to take his blessing, to attend and take his blessing and keep his association. Whatever he was said was published in the newspaper at that time. Many devotees still have copies of it. What was said by Raj Narayan Shastri concerning Sri Kripaluji Maharaj. Before he left, when he was coming, Mahopadhyay, Girdhar Sharma, etc., they had given a letter of invitation that if you so think this person is deserving, invite him to Kashi. Only after you think that you have tested him and think he's deserving, he approached Sri Kripalu Maharaj and gave the letter. In there was an invitation. He told him, "We would like you to come to Kashi." Sri Maharaji didn't say anything. The Sammelan was finished. Everyone went back. Sri Maharaji eventually accepted the invitation. Time is finishing to talk about such an entity. Anyhow, he went to Varanasi. The following year, 1957, the month of January. He was just 34 years of age. While he was there, he started doing satsang at various places. The news spread around, many things about him, that he is 500 years old. Some scholars were sent to his birthplace to find out, to go and find his mother and the villagers and question them as to when he came in this world and how old he was, etc. Because the talk was spread that he was 500 years old and he kept changing body. There are certain yogis who can do that. That's how he has all this knowledge. That a young boy could not have this kind of knowledge. They went and questioned the villagers and the mother, etc. And they found out that he had only descended 34 years ago. It was a fact. Anyhow, one of the scholars, they happened to meet one of the devotee of Kripaluji Maharaj on the street. And they said to the devotee, you all know that this is Kashi, the seat of all learning. And the devotee said, yes. And he said, you know that we are all Sanskrit scholars. We are Sanskrit scholars. Does your Guruji know Sanskrit? Can he speak in Sanskrit? And the devotee said, my Guru can do anything. Not even knowing. In the two Sammelan, he quoted from the scriptures, but he did not speak in Sanskrit. He spoke in Hindi. He said, my Guru can do anything. The devotee went back and told Shri Maharaji, I'm very sorry, but I met this person and he said that this is Kashi, Varanasi, and these are Sanskrit scholars. And does your Guru know Sanskrit? And I said, yes, my Guru can speak in Sanskrit. He can do anything. What to do now? I never even asked you if you can speak in Sanskrit. Maharaji said to him, look, don't worry, you said this, it's fine. Another thing, before Maharaji left Pratapgarh, he was at the home of Mahabani. He wrote, he was playing harmonium one day, and he wrote on top of the harmonium, Jagat Guru. He said to Mahabani, they're going to make me Jagat Guru. Mahabani was because he loved Maharaji like a child, he went and brought a mirror, and he said, look at your face. They're going to make you Jagat Guru. What do you think you are? Besides, I don't think you should go there. These people are known to be very insultive. They're going to try to make a fool out. That was one of the reasons they was invited, that they were going to prove that he is nothing. That he doesn't really know all that they claim that he knows. They're going to demean you and insult you. Maharaji says, I'm not scared of anyone. So he had predicted before going that he was going to be Jagat Guru. Anyhow, Shri Maharaji started speaking. He started with very simple Sanskrit. And the scholars present thought, oh, he knows Sanskrit, but simple Sanskrit. Then after a while, he increased the tempo to literature Sanskrit. And then they started to say, oh, rah, this is better. And then he went even higher, Ved Sanskrit, the most difficult. And now everybody had full, complete attention. He lectured like this. Many things happened during that. Some other time I'll go in some detail. For 9 days. On the 9th day, the Kashi Vidvat Parishad, the body, they had a general meeting. And they said, okay, we invited him here. And now he has spoken to us. We have heard what kind of knowledge he has. Now we are supposed to debate him. I told you before, how is someone made Jagat Guru? There's a debate, Shastrat, between him and that body. And when his knowledge is proven to be greater than all of them combined, then they bestow the title of Jagat Guru. So, who is going to debate him? So, some of the members said, look, to have a debate, we need to talk to someone and question someone who is also worldly, who is of this material world. How can we have a debate with a divine dissension, a divine entity? Impossible. So then they agreed, okay, then we have to give the title to him. For the first time in history, many things happened for the first time. The title of Jagat Guru was given without any Shastrat, any debate. Prashna Prasunopahar, a garland of titles, a beautiful flowers, the flower of titles was bestowed upon him by the Kashi. The main ones I'll tell you. Srimat Padvakya Praman Paravarin Ved Marg Pratisthapana Acharya Nikhil Darshan Samanvaya Acharya Sanatan Vedic Sanatan Vedic Sat Sampadaya Paramacharya Sanatan Vedic Dharma Sat Sampadaya Paramacharya Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar Bhagavan Ananta Shri Vibhushit Jagat Guru 1008 Swami Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj. Sanatan Dharma Vedic Dharma Pratishthapan, one I was leaving out. Sanatan Vedic Dharma Pratishthapan. I wasn't saying correct. Let me go through it again. Srimad Padvakya Praman Paravarin Vedmarg Paramacharya Nikhil Darshan Samanvaya Acharya Sanatan Vedic Dharma Pratishthapan Sat Sampadaya Paramacharya Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar Bhagavan Anant Shri Vibhushit Jagat Guru 1008 Swami Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj. Long title. These are the main ones. Many titles were given. Out of this, I want to mention three main ones. Very important one. First, Jagat Guru Tam. Before Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, there were only 4 Mool Jagat Guru, original Jagat Guru. Mool means original. As I told you, when this Jagat Guru left the world, someone just went and sat on their seat and called himself Jagat Guru. So there are thousands. They were not made Jagat Guru. They made themselves. Original, only 4. Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya. These 4 Jagat Gurus contradicted themselves. There were contradictions in their philosophies, especially Shankaracharya. There were controversies and contradictions. For example, Shankaracharya says his philosophy, Jagan Mithya, that the world is false, an illusion, imagination of the mind. That the soul is God, Aham Brahmasmi, etc. The other 3 Jagat Guru contradicted him, saying, no, the world created by God is real, Satya. And that the soul is not God, but the soul is a servant of God, Das hai. There's a difference between Jiv and Jivatma and Paramatma. And so many controversies, differences. So Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj reconciled all the philosophies of all the previous Jagat Gurus. So he was also given the title of Nikhil Darshan Samanvayacharya. Paramacharya. Paravarin means the authority of all the Darshan Shastras. Paravarin, that he is authorized on challenge. Propagator of all the Vedic philosophy. Jagat Guru Tam, that all the four previous original Jagat Guru, but he's Jagat Guru Tam, first time in history, again, that someone has been given the title of Jagat Guru Tam. What does Jagat Guru Tam means? In English you have good, better, best. In Sanskrit, Jagat Guru, then Jagat Guru Tar means better, Jagat Guru Tam means best. That amongst the 5 Jagat Guru original, he is the best. And third title, that is very important, all is very important, but this will briefly, Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar. This title was also given, as I mentioned briefly, Srimad Padavakya Pramana Paravarin Ved Mar Pratisthapana Acharya, Nikhil Darshan Samanvaya Acharya, Sanatan Vedic Dharma Pratishthapan Sat Sampradaya Paramacharya, Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar. Ras, I told you, is another name for Sri Krishna in the Vedas. And Bhakti, the highest point of Bhakti, divine love, is called Mahabhav. And the highest point of Mahabhav, Madnakya Mahabhav, is Radha. So Radha is Bhakti personified. Bhakti is Radha herself. Divine love personified. So Bhakti means Radha, Ras means Sri Krishna. Bhakti and Yog. Yog means join, to join. Avatar means divine descension. Divine, so Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar means the divine descension of divine love bliss of Sri Radha and Krishna. In other words, Gaurang Mahaprabhu. The Kashi Vidvat Parishad recognized who he was, that he was Gaurang Mahaprabhu himself, amongst many, many titles. And so this day, this was the day, the 14th of January, when this title of Jagat Guru Tam, amongst other titles, was bestowed upon Sri Kripalu Mahaprabhu. This is why we also celebrate this day as Jagat Guru Tam Divas throughout the world, along with Makar Sankranti. Very auspicious day. There's much, much more, but I've already taken extra time. The rest we will hear some other time. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu ki. Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar ki. Before we go off air, just let me briefly again thank our dear sponsors who made this possible. Sachin's Auto Air Conditioning, D. Sibalak Drive-In Hardware, Narvik Enterprises Limited, DS Tiles and Home Center Limited, Radha Govind Society, and KS Smart Buys Limited, Superstore, 116A Ecclesville, Williamsville, 656-1274, phone number. And of course, Bhakti TV, which is produced by Pandit Satyanand Maharaj of the Satya Anand Ashram in Arangwez. We want to thank all the sponsors. We want to thank Bhakti TV 106.5 for bringing this 5 nights live to you. May Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu shower their choicest blessings upon all of you. Bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Syavar Ramchandra ki jai, Gaurang Mahaprabhu ki jai, Bhakti Yoga Rasa Avatar ki jai, Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.